Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Three news stories. Before that, an announcement. We'll have this week's first live chat after around 90 minutes, and we'll focus on Ethiopia, Somalia, Ankara declaration. Who is the casualty of this declaration? Who's the real beneficiary? Looking forward to see you with your comments and questions. The news stories. Firstly, Asseb, Eritrean president was seen in Assab. Pictures are being shared showing Asseb holding a meeting with Assab government officials. South Red Sea Zone, where Assab is located. South Red Sea Zone government officials were seen having a meeting with Asseb in Assab reportedly. I have not seen him in Assab since I started covering Ethiopia and Eritrea around 4 years ago. This is the first time, by the way, I've seen him. Maybe I missed his visit to Assab. Why is he now suddenly interested in visiting Assab? There are two reasons, by the way. Secondly, battlefront in the Amhara region seems to be shifting towards Gondar. We used to receive reports about fighting in Gujam, generally, between foreign military. But now the reports coming in from both zones, rather all the zones of Gonder, show that suddenly we're seeing a big escalation between foreign military in South Gonder and West Gonder. Let's start, viewers. Firstly, a third news story is about Somalia's troops. I reported that Somalia's troops, federal troops deployed to Ras Kamboni, fled during fight against Jubaland forces, and they fled into Kenya, neighboring country. Now, videos are in circulation showing Somalia's federal soldiers laying down arms in Kenya. I was very careful. Okay, I'll share my views with you in this part of the video about Somalia. Let's start from Eritrea. Asseb, Eritrean president, was seen in Assab. He visited Assab reportedly. Assab is located in South Red Sea Zone of Eritrea. He there held meetings with Southern Red Sea Zone government officials. It's not very often that we see Asseb in Assab. What is the significance of this visit? Two main reasons. What I can say about the visit is that there are two main reasons. Firstly, Ethiopia is backing Eritrean opposition groups. Three have held meetings in Ethiopia in the last few months. Ethiopia is accusing Eritrea of backing opposition armed groups in Ethiopia. It means Ethiopia will try to create instability in Eritrea in retaliation. Ideally, Ethiopia would like to create instability in South Red Sea Zone around Assab. Because last year, when PM Abiy tried to prove that Ethiopia had natural rights to gain access to sea, mainly he had Assab in mind, though he never mentioned Eritrea or Assab by name. So Assab is now, or it could be, center of geopolitical rivalry involving Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Egypt. That is why Asseb government BFDJ must have a fully functional, very alert system put in place in Assab. Secondly, Egypt is interested in gaining a foothold in Assab. Why? Firstly, if Egypt manages to gain a foothold in Assab, it means that it can monitor Ethiopia from there. Secondly, it wants to expand its presence along the sea, starting from Suez Canal. That is why it wants to have its presence on this side of the sea as well. So, for Egyptian military presence to the local authorities must be fully alert. I think that Assab is seeing that Assab could be center of developments, regional geostrategic developments in coming months. That is why he's there to alert the people, to brief them, to instruct them. Let's see what happens so far. When it comes to security matters, when it comes to regional security issues, Isasavuk is very smart, I would say. His main weakness is that he does not know how to run a country as an economist, or how to run a country's economy. He does not make long-term economic plans. That is why almost no significant economic progress in Eritrea. Militarily, Eritrea is still a force to be reckoned with in the Horn of Africa. Now, secondly, viewers, it seems that battlefronts have shifted from Gojam to Gondar in the Amhara region, where since last year, foreign military been involved in fighting. We're receiving now reports about intense clashes between military and Fano in West Gondar and South Gondar. I told you about a major ENDF operation launched last week to clear Amhara-Sudan border. Operation was launched in West Gondar. Purpose was to take control of entire Amhara-Gondar border, Amhara-Sudan border. That led to start of several day-long fighting between Fano and military. Military could not clear the border reportedly. Now we're receiving reports from South Gondar that in the last 3 days, there was heavy fighting in 3 towns in South Gondar. Debritabor, Aisa town in Mina, Maketeva Voreda, and what we have learned from the ground is that both sides deployed several thousand fighters. On both sides, the number of deployed fighters was in thousands, not in hundreds. Alarming. It was as if 2 militaries are fighting. Fano groups have managed to grow bigger if you compare them with today's Fano and last year's Fano. Military has made huge deployments to the Amhara region. And Fano groups are trying to create internal unity. They are establishing regional structures, command structures. If they manage to create one regional command structure, you could see a full-blown, all-out war between Fano and military. But the clashes in South and West Gondar indicative of what could happen in coming days. Now, Fano fighters are not operating in just groups of 20, 30 Fano fighters. No. They are conducting major operations involving several Fano units. It seemed to be ENDF versus another military. People would say, Sajid, you are exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. You will see that in coming days, that the way foreign groups are organizing themselves, you'll see them put up now stiff resistance, and maybe they'll plan offensive operations. And the offensive operation this time will be different. The offensive operation this time will have the involvement of thousands of Fano fighters. This is what is being planned reportedly. Thirdly, viewers, Somalia, we know what happened in Jubaland. I did some videos. I told you the federal forces suffered a crushing defeat there at the hands of Jubaland forces in Ras, uh, in that area where Ras Kamboni. Federal forces there had to retreat and they fled into Kenya. Around 600 soldiers of federal force fled into Kenya. It is being reported by Kenyan news sources. A video is in circulation showing Somalia soldiers surrendering, laying down arms in Kenya. Badhade zone commander, his name is Fannan, I think. He also fled into Kenya reportedly. Hundreds were captured by Jubaland forces. Dozens were killed too. Around 50 killed on both sides. Injured soldiers were then transported from Raskamon to Kismayo, from there to Mogadishu. I have been very careful in my reporting of the conflict in Ras Kamboni. I backed my reports with videos because people have been accusing me of being anti-Somalia. Some accuse me of being anti-Ethiopia. Some say I'm anti-Abiy. Others say I'm pro-Abiy, anti-TPLF, pro-TPLF, anti-Ola, pro-Ola. This is what I've been facing for 4 years. I showed you video when Jubaland forces enter Ras Kamboni. I showed you a video when Jubaland forces took control of Ras Kamboni airport. Now a video showing Somalia's federal forces surrendering in Kenya. They fled into Kenya after Jubaland forces just defeated them in an embarrassing blow to federal forces in Ras Kamboni. Watch the clip. Thank you for watching.